good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys are here today. So for today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I recently showed you guys this artsy palette that I got in my last art haul video, and I wanted to do like a demonstration of how these paints perform. And instead of just doing a demo, I thought I would just create a tutorial for you guys that you could follow along with me and just kind of do a really chill and relaxed tutorial for painting something that's simple and that you can just use your paints and not be stressed about, you know, how beautiful your sketch is and if you're gonna damage it, or, you know, if you're using like your super expensive paints. No, this is something for everyone to just kind of relax and sit back with your favorite drink and enjoy. So the things you're gonna need for this is gonna be some watercolor paper, preferably, so it will hold the water better. Then a pencil, eraser, a cup of clean water. If you can get two, that's even better. So you can use the clean one to pick up your paint, and then the other one to clean your brush, and that way you don't contaminate your colors with the dirty paint water. You're also going to need your watercolor palette of preference, and I would suggest having a rag or a piece of paper towel to be able to wipe your brush with. As far as brushes go, I would use a small and medium-sized round brush. These two brushes will help you have better control of your paint. The bigger one you can use for the bigger washes in the leaves, and the small one for the little details. Although if you have a, you know, medium-sized round brush and it has a really good point, you can use that one for details as well. So the first step for this painting will be to create a little sketch. This sketch I made was super simple, and it just consisted of creating a stem and leaves coming out of each side of the stem. I started with the first leaf on the left side, and from there I drew the center of the leaf and created my stem from that center line. Then I proceeded to draw leaves on each side, just very simple leaf shapes, so kind of like a pointy ended oval shape, and then I created the lines inside of every one. I believe I went like from the bigger stem to the smaller stems. I created a line and then went around them and closed the leaf. I also decided to draw a smaller set of leaves on the left of the main stem because the painting seemed like too empty. The paper was too empty, so I wanted to balance it out. So the first thing we're going to be doing is you need to choose the colors that you want you paint your leaves with. For this one, I used I can't remember the specific colors of this palette, but it was like a yellow green or olive green. And then I had a darker kind of emerald green. And I believe there's a hooker's green as well that I used. So after you choose your paint colors, you're gonna want to have at least 3 different greens or 4, because you want to use the lightest color. You're going to be using it first. So, and then you're going to be using the darker one to create contrast in the tips of your leaves. So the technique for this painting is pretty simple. If you've worked with watercolors before or not, you should be able to follow this. So what I did was I loaded my brush with a good amount of water and paint, and then I used my lighter color to start painting from the very tip of that first leaf, and dragging down that paint around the whole leaf. So you want to create kind of a pool of your paint and water in your brush at the tip, and then you're going to start moving that paint across the sides all around your painting. But you don't want to bring it to the center. You want to create that pool all around first, and then you're going to take your brush and you will be kind of removing some of this paint that you have still loaded on your brush, because what you will do is you'll clean your brush some while leaving a little bit of the paint, and then put some more water in your brush, and then you're going to kind of drag that little bubble that you had created with the paint, and kind of drag it along the center where you want the leaf to be lighter. So by creating that pool and letting the kind of cleaner brush with more water drag that paint in the center, you're going to create a lighter effect in the center and bottom of your leaf. So after you have that first wash of color and you have filled in the center with the lighter, like more watered down paint, you're going to be, while your paint is still wet at the tip of the leaf, you're going to take some of that darker watercolor paint that you chose, and you're going to very carefully go from that tip again and deposit some of that color just in the tip of the leaf. So you're gonna leave a little bit pool of paint there, so that area will be much darker in contrast with the lighter parts of the leaf. So this is basically the procedure that I follow along for every single leaf. So I wanted to mention that this painting basically uses 2 techniques here. So the first one is a wet on dry technique, which is when you first lay down that first wash of paint, you have the dry surface of the paper, you haven't put water on your paper, you're just going to be working with the wet paint on the dry paper. So this is called a wet on dry technique for watercolors. But then once you deposit that paint in the leaf for the first time and drag your kind of little bubble around to create the darker effect at the tip and the lighter effect at the bottom, you're going to be using wet on wet technique. And what that technique does is you're going to be working with a new wash of watercolor. Not wash, but because you're not going to let this dry, you're going to be bringing in another deposit of color on top of the wet paper that you have already. So you're going to be bringing in a new blot or dot, right? Kind of like a little pool of paint on top of the wet surface that you already have paint on. And that's what that's going to create, is going to do like a very soft gradient in your leaf, and it's going to just have a very soft transition from the dark to the lighter part of the leaf. So you want to make sure that you don't let your paint dry when you apply that second blub or little pool of water at the tip of your leaf, and because that's what's gonna make this effect of the darker against the lighter colors contrast, and it won't give you a hard edge. Because what will happen is, if you work your first wash and let it dry and then add the darker color, you're gonna get these really harsh lines, and you don't want that, because you want these leaves to look a very natural, or you want to give them a very natural, organic look. And this, using both of these techniques in conjunction or together, is what's going to give you this effect. You could also, another thing you could do to kind of have a very similar effect to this would be, once you put down your first layer, instead of painting around the whole leaf and leaving the center clean and then dragging that water down with a cleaner wet brush, would be to kind of put the wash down in the whole leaf, and then with a clean paper towel you could blot that part of the leaf that you want to have a lighter color. So you would just take a small piece of the paper towel and kind of blot very softly on top of that part of the leaf that you want it to be lighter, and let your paper towel drink up some of your pigment and water. So that would be another way that you could potentially do this. And the way I did it, I just decided to do it this way because I felt more comfortable using this technique of just kind of like dragging the paint towards the center. So for the rest of the painting, I'm just going to keep repeating this same technique over and over again until I reach the stem. So I'll let you guys listen to some music now, and when it comes down to painting the stem, I will come back and give you some instructions for that.
Just where it was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing, faces merchant change, but your face remains the same. Swallows will be here by dawn. When we're finally sober, they'll be gone. The trees will bloom and ice will melt. We'll always remember how it felt. Significant life, just what it was needed, gleamed in the blackest night, cloistered in injustice dead, and in the eyes of time, nobody is losing. The sparrows will be here by dawn. When we find it's over, they'll be gone.
When you came over, my heart was on its way out. I wasn't sober, I was thinking out loud. I spoke of your bravery, your wit and audacity, of coming over and letting go of it all. Please move close to me. You love differently. So beside me, you held my hand in the dark. I started fighting, 'cause I was scared of it all. And isn't it glorious how love gets the best of us? Yeah, I got feelings, but I'm a tough one sometimes. Please move close to me. You love differently, so move close to me. Love me differently, differently. Please move close to me. You love differently, so move close to me. Love me differently, differently.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know. All in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honest, honestly don't. I should be the last to know. We're all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honest, honestly don't. I should be the last to know. Hello, Ramona. I mistook you for.
So for this part of the painting, we're going to be working with the stem. You want to get out your smaller round brush and you're going to load it up with your lighter colored green paint. What you're going to do is you're going to start from that base of that first leaf down and work your way down the whole stem, painting just kind of to the left of that stem you created when you made your sketch, and leaving some part of that stem white, so not touching the whole stem. So you want to paint on the left side and leave some of the stem blank, so with no paint. And then what you're going to do is similar to what we did on the leaves. The similar technique is you're going to kind of wipe your brush off some and load it with a little bit of water, and you're going to start dragging that paint from the side that you created your pool of color in on the left to the right. So you're kind of, what you're doing is you're blending that green paint to create a bit of a mid-tone and then a lighter shade on the right side. After you have done that, you're going to come in with your darker colored green and you're going to go over the left side of that stem very carefully and with just the tip of your brush to try to create a darker shadow color on that stem. So this is just going to give you, just like in the leaves, it's going to give you that effect of light hitting the right side of the stem and there being more shadows on the left. So that's it for that part of the stem. So basically we're gonna repeat the same process for every smaller stem in the coming down from the leaves, but just gonna load up your brush with the lighter green color, and then with the very tip of your brush, of your round brush, you're gonna create some very skinny kind of wiggly lines going down from the base of that leaf to meet it up with the stem. So you're just gonna keep repeating this process with all of the leaves and connect all the leaves with the main stem, and then you're gonna come in with that darker green color and go over the lighter one as much as possible to as much degree as possible, just on kind of like the left side of every stem, to create that little bit of a gradient in the stems. So this is basically what we're gonna do for all of them. And so I'll leave you guys to listen to some music as well, and then I'm gonna be working on the little leaves on the left side. And for those leaves, it's this exact same process we did with this set of leaves. I just used a darker green as my base color, and then an even darker one for the shades at the tips of the leaves. So you can bring out two darker greens and just to contrast the leaves on the right side of the painting, and or you could do them with the same colors. It's up to you. You can even make them any colors you want, really. You don't have to use green at all. You could do this same exact painting and exercise with any colors that you want. I would just use two very kind of similar colors, but darker in shade one than the other. So I'll let you guys listen to some music and we can keep working on this painting.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew, my will is strong with a place to lean. In a moment I hung desperately. The other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds. When I return from my skin and bones, I'm remembering the words you told me. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. The feeling is all gone. Forget about signs and rules. Oh, the pavement and the long, long roads. Yeah, and you're always in such a rush. With your life playing from the stereo. Oh. But all alone, and you're always staring at your phone. You need another quick relief. We all need a turn and leave. Oh baby, this time we'll be gone forever, never in our lifetime.
So for this next part, what you're gonna do is using your smaller brush. I mean, you can use the big one too, but you're just gonna be using the very tip of your round brush. You're going to grab that darker color from either side of your painting, right, that you're using. So either the very dark greens that I have here or the lighter kind of more maize sap green colors on the right. You're gonna want that to load your brush up with that darker color, and you're gonna use that very tip of the brush to draw a line down your leaves. So you can do kind of a little squiggly line or straight, however you want. I think I chose to do a bit more of a squiggly line to make it look a little more organic. I kind of messed up when I did the first leaf on the right side. I made it too thick, and then when I tried to lighten it up, I got paint like all over the place. So I apologize for that, but honestly, the only way we learn when we're painting is by making mistakes and trying and making mistakes and just trying again. So if something is not coming out right for you, just give it another go, give it another try. Don't quit on it. If it's something you truly enjoy, just keep trying. So when we have, like, usually for me, like, I have such high expectations of what I want to do in my head, and when I mess up, especially at the end of a painting like this one, I was almost done with it, it gets frustrating, and then you just kind of feel down. But you have to pick yourself up from that and learn from that mistake, and know that by doing this one painting, you're gonna get better for your next one. So that is how I have come to terms with my mistakes. I just always try to improve and keep practicing, because that practice is what's gonna make you better in the end. And it's just a matter of enjoying the process. You have to enjoy the process, and you will keep learning. As much as you practice is how much you're gonna learn. So keep painting, keep enjoying what you do, and right now I'll let you guys keep listening to some music and be able to finish your painting.
Is it real? Could this be a new beginning? My whole world falls apart with just the thought of you. But there's a fire in my wanna drink a beer and grab the glass and let it.
Well, that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bells to see when I upload new videos. Please also let me know in the comments if you would like more of these tutorial type videos and paint with me videos. I am looking forward to doing some streaming painting sessions as well, so please let me know if you would be interested in those. I hope you guys learned something, or at least had some fun trying to do this painting. I also wanted to mention that I had made another painting before this one with this artsy palette, and in both occasions I really enjoyed using the paints. I do have a lot of higher end paintings that are artist grade, like Daniel Smith's, Holbein, and Schminke, and several other brand name paints like White Knights and the Roman Schmoll paints. However, I also do have some student grade sets like this one, and honestly, for $19.99, which is the price of this artsy palette, you can't go wrong for playing around with watercolors or dabbing in it if this is your first experience with them. It has a nice set of colors. They don't really flow that greatly, but you can still work with them. The colors are nice, they're not too chalky. The tin is amazing, so like the tin alone is really worth the $19.99 if you want to use it for other colors. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm just gonna leave you guys here with Little Salem. I hope to see you guys very soon, and I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.